Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hamidreza. Today I'm going to talk about borderline personality disorder, focusing on the abandonment issues that they suffer from. You know that people with borderline personality disorder, for these people, abandonment is something to be avoided from different aspects. When a person with BPD feels abandoned, it can have serious effect on their self-image and behavior, as well as their ability to maintain relationships. People with borderline personality disorder often experience intense fears of abandonment, which can result in appropriate anger and even faced with realistic short-term separation or when there are unavoidable changes in plans. They may believe that this abandonment is because they have done something wrong. These fears of abandonment are usually related to an intolerance of being alone and a need to have other people with them. Because they desperately want to avoid being alone, people with BPD quickly latch onto new people and idealize them, making them the center of their lives. At the first sign they see as abandonment, these feelings will turn to hatred and distrust. If someone has to go out of the town or work or decides to spend time with their friends, the person with borderline personality disorder will become convinced that the other person is no longer cares about them. Impulsive, self-destructive behavior is often a response to an anxiety related to their fear of being left alone. BPD symptoms. Well, now let's focus on some of these significant and considerable symptoms of BPD. Fear of abandonment is at the core of borderline personality disorder, and additional symptoms often are related to that paralyzing fear. Unstable, intense, and difficult relationships, poor self-image, self-destructive impulsive behavior, suicidal threats or attempts, self-mutilation, extreme mood reactions, including intense and inappropriate anger, feeling empty or alone, short, short psychotic distortions of perception, or brief, especially under stress. The fears of abandonment in people with borderline personality disorder may come from difficulties feeling emotionally connected to the people when they are physically absent, leaving the person with BPD feeling lost and perhaps worthless. Once they feel abandoned, suicide threats and attempts may occur, along with anger that perceive abandonment and disappointments. Many people with borderline personality disorder feel they are unworthy of love, yet are constantly seeking approval from the people around them. They often feel they are being unifying judged. Difficulties treating borderline personality disorder. Providing therapy for someone with borderline personality disorder can be a challenge. The therapist-patient relationship may experience the same inappropriate and unrealistic expectations that people with BPD place on all their significant relationships. People with borderline personality disorder may be chronic treatment seekers who become easily frustrated with their therapist if they feel they are not receiving adequate attention or empathy. The resulting anger, impulsivity, and self-destructive behavior can sabotage the therapist-patient relationship. Their fear of abandonment and ending the therapy relationship may actually cause them to discontinue treatment as soon as a progress is made. Despite the often difficult nature of therapist-patient relationship for people with borderline personality disorder, a successful course of therapy can help someone with BPD to overcome their abandonment issues and help them learn how to have trusting and long-lasting relationship from different aspects. Well, it should be taken into account that a feeling of abandonment can be related to the wide range of sources. In some aspects, their bad experience, the painful experience, the agonizing experience of children with their brutal parents, with the indifferent parents, with the parents who were suffering from personality disorders, for instance, those who were uh, antisocial or narcissistic parents. All of them have the capability to destroy the security, the sense of security of the children, their children, and their offspring would suffer from so much pressure that have been experienced by these toxic parents. Parentifying the children is also another leading factor that may lead to BPD. There are wide range of other elements that contribute to this disorder. For instance, sensitivity, which is biologically oriented, is another significant factor that plays a key role in causing the BPD. Those who are hypersensitive have some dysfunctionality in their amygdala, which is a part of the brain. It is an emotion. It's the emotional brain. It's a part of the emotional brain that causes, some distractions in that part of the life of the people suffering from BPD, and that causes a very huge stress. And this huge stress leads to borderline personality disorder in the course of time. Well, the question may come to our mind that how does BPD splitting destroy relationships? These are the questions that can be answered from different perspectives. Those diagnosed with BPD personality use defense mechanism like splitting, which causes them to feel extremes of either good or bad. This also causes them to view their partner as either the best possible light or the worst possible light. BPD splitting destroys relationships by causing the person to distort how they see themselves and others. BPD relationships shift between highs and lows. BPD splitting destroys relationships in the way that the person defends against the bad feelings within themselves so that they can feel good about themselves. Instead of feeling bad about themselves, the partner is considered bad for causing their feelings. In this way, they project their bad feelings onto the partner who is blamed for how they feel. This is because the person with BPD cannot tolerate the bad feelings within themselves and needs to discharge them in an attempt to feel good about themselves. When they predict how they feel, they can feel good, but their partner becomes all bad. Now, the question is, do you feel pain or do you believe that your partner is to blame for how you feel? BPD splitting destroys relationship when the person puts their bad feelings onto the partner because their feelings are so overwhelming and they cannot tolerate them. When a BPD person is splitting, they may distort how they see things. One moment they feel good, and the next day they feel low. One moment they feel loved, and the next they feel unwanted or abandoned. Borderline personality disorder splitting can destroy a relationship by inflicting pain on the other. BPD splitting ruins relationships since the person can misconstrue the behaviors of others when the feelings are brought up in the relationship. Often the borderline person is unaware of how they feel when the feelings are when the feelings surface, so they displace their feelings onto others as causing them. They may not realize that their feelings belong within them, so they think that the partner is responsible for hurting them and causing them to feel this way. The BPD splitting defense mechanism prevents them from seeing both the good and bad aspects of the partner at a given time. When you think that you have treated in the best way with them, they may react in other aspect. Whereas if your partner arrives late, he's seen as uncaring or rejecting. Being late triggers past wounds of feeling unwanted, which become so overwhelming that they need to be projected outside themselves. In this moment, the person with BPD sees everything as bad as a triggering person, as if they caused them to feel this way. When the partner sees up underlying feelings, they start to experience pain. Splitting protect them from feeling bad as children, such feeling unworthy or not good enough. In extreme situations, those feelings become internalized and form the way the person sees themselves and others. Therefore, splitting defense against feeling bad by attempting to feel good and projecting the bad feelings onto the partner, who is often accused of treating them badly. People usually see the partner in the best possible light during the honeymoon stage of relationship. Once their partner does something that brings up their feelings, they usually see them in the worst possible way. They may respond by blaming them, causing the splitting defense to destroy relationships. In this way, splitting magnifies the problem, making it seem far worse. It can be seen that the husband we forgot to call does not care about the wife when it's the case. A wife may not think her spouse loves her no matter what he says. When a BPD person is caught in the negative side of the split, anything a partner says will be seen as if he is bad, unloving, or uncaring because it brings up how bad she feels. Well, thank you very much for listening to this part, and I wish that it was useful for you.